But from your reactions, I want you to give me like the reactions of how you feel. So let me have those reactions coming. But don't send me that you are cold because I don't have hot tea with you. But let me have the reaction to tell me how you are feeling, or if you are feeling great. The reaction. Oh, great. Oh, I, no, okay, please confirm that you can hear me loud and clear. I think my network is messing up. Please confirm that you can hear me. Mr.
Yes, we
Ebu,
can
can
hear
you?
you. We can hear
Okay,
you loud
okay.
and clear. We can hear you.
Thank you. Thank you,
Please
sir.
go ahead,
Thank you.
sir.
Sir. Oh, okay. All right. So before we proceed, I want us to do something quickly. It's more like simple, but it's going to be interactive. I'll also be requesting for your reaction. Yes, I know we've had series of MindShift webinar in the past, and I truly want you to be sincere with yourself. If you have attended any of the previous MindShift session, and you genuinely know that you have gained one or two experience from the sessions we have had in the past. Please, I want you to react with the emoji that best describes your experience you have had ever since the commencement of this Mindshift webinar series. Oh, Mr. Ebu, I can see love. Oh, if yours is fire, let me have those reactions. Oluwaseun Banja, our convener, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's have those reactions coming. You know that this mind shift has transformed your life, your career in one way or the other. The reaction that best describes your experience so far is what I needed. Thank you, Jimmy Cosmos. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, thank you for the reaction. Looking at those reactions, it's so obvious, and I can say it's very clear that these sections have continued to work to make positive impact in the lives of many people. Personally, I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. Personally, every mind shift sessions that I've attended has left me with something valuable to think. It has really impacted my life in so many ways, my career in so many ways. So I really want to appreciate the convener and the co-convener and every members of this team. And thank you for always organizing an event like this to train and teach the young mind. We do not take that for granted. Okay, so before we continue, our speaker is right here, and I believe she's fully loaded. She's ready for us. But before we continue, I want to invite the convener, the person of Assistant Pastor Sheung. I believe he has one or two things to share with us. So, Pastor, sir, over to you.
All right. Thank you very much. Brackeny, thank you very much. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, loud and clear. I can hear you.
Awesome, awesome. So let me start by welcoming everybody to the MindShift webinar for June edition 2026. By the grace of God, it's been a year and a month now that we started. And in that period, there is so much transformation that's taking place in the minds and the life of people. This program is Mind Shifts, and of course, it means that our goal and aim is to ensure that there is a shift in thinking, there is a shift in orientation, there is a shift in the way people do things, especially young people, so that they can become the best versions of themselves. So this evening we are going to be having a topic that I believe should resonate with every one of us. It's about who we are, it's about purpose, it's about our identity as individuals. Now, I like to say that oftentimes in life, one of the greatest journeys that any human being will ever undertake is not a journey, across careers or across cities or across continents, but it's the journey of discovering who you truly are. It's a journey of self-discovery. That is the biggest, the most important journey you ever embark on in life. And of course, unfortunately, many people, spend their life chasing, one thing or the other, chasing success, chasing approval, chasing validation from people. I mean, chasing acceptability from people, from family, from friends, from colleagues, right? They spend their lives running after who they are not, and only for them to realize that uh, they are not fulfilled until they actually discover who they are. One of my biggest quotes, and one quote that I love so much is by Aristotle: "Man, know thyself." And so anything that is worth doing in life starts with self-discovery. Start with understanding who you are. And when you find that who you are does not align with where you're going, then you have to realize that there's a need for a shift. And so I believe that this conversation today, the identity shift, how to discover your um, self-worth, purpose, and live an authentic life. Of course, we invite us today to challenge ourselves and eradicate limiting beliefs and everything that can really hold us back and become the best versions of ourselves. And I'm trusting that after the session today with my dear sister, a very pleasant woman, I must say, Mrs. Funirola, Alake, I'm hopeful that everyone on this call today will actually go home better and start living life in a different way. And one that aligns with their purpose, the spirit, and becoming who they really should become in life. So I'm personally excited, looking forward to it, and I'm sure everyone is also excited, looking forward to the session. Thank you very much. I'll hand it over back to my brother Bracken. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Please, thumbs up for our convener, please. Let me have reaction. Let's appreciate our convener. Let's appreciate. We do not take your leadership for granted. I know so many people out there are paying huge amount of money to have this kind of leadership, but this is what we are getting free of charge. So we are even still getting Jara money on it. So we appreciate you for your guidance and leadership. I said it before that I think MindShift is no longer a mail or just a webinar series. For me, MindShift has now become like a community of people who are committed to learning, growing, and becoming better versions of themselves. So, and I want to agree that everybody sees it that way as well. So, MindShift is not just a regular let's log into the link and have this session. It is now a community of people with open mind who want to learn and gain more experience in their career or related to anything pertaining to life. So thank you once again for
Bracken,
the
can you hear me?
opportunity and for the grace.
Bracken,
Okay, so before we continue,
yes, yes.
yeah, I
So,
can hear you loud and clear.
I think because of our time, we should delve straight into the presentation. I'm sure our speaker cannot wait to unpack what she has for us. So let's go straight to our
Okay,
presentation,
of course.
our
Yeah,
profile, and
our
then
speaker.
something. Yes.
Okay, okay. Let me let me try to share the. Okay, please confirm that you cannot see my slide and at the same time you can hear me. Please,
We
can you
can
share?
hear you, but we can't see the slide. Bracken, are you there?
Please confirm that you can hear me. The network is really messing things up here.
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you, but we can't see the slide.
Can
So
you hear me, please?
I think if you can I think you
Okay,
can go
let me.
ahead
The
with the.
network is
I
messing
think
up.
you can
Let
go
me
ahead
try
with
to reshare
the.
the slide. The network is really messing things up here.
Bracken, I think you should go
Apologies.
ahead and read the slide. Bribon, if you can, please help us share the slide. But Bracken, please go ahead with the profile so that we don't have any further delay.
Pastor Pastor, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. I think Pastor Kenny is
So
having challenge with the internet. So let me just go
yes,
ahead and read the profile and introduce us to
awesome,
our
awesome.
speaker
Please,
for today.
right. Please go ahead.
Okay. All right. So we have today Fulalaki Aino, and she'll be handing over today. I don't know why she's smiling. All right. She's first and foremost a woman who believes her identity is rooted in God, who knew her before she was formed. She believes that every season of life is purposeful and that our greatest transformation begins when we discover who we are in Him. Professionally, she is a content writer, storyteller, motherhood blogger, and a digital communications professional, passionate about helping people, especially women, embrace every season of life with purpose, confidence, and authenticity. So, women on the call, please feel free to just check out her blog. I'm sure she will put some of our links on the chat, so you can always catch up and get to know more about what she does in that platform. Though her writing, through her writing, she explores themes of identity, healing, personal growth, and motherhood, using storytelling as a tool to inspire transformation and meaningful conversations. She is the founder of Moms in Seasons, a motherhood platform on Instagram that began as Diary of a Young Pregnant Mom and has evolved into a thriving community that empowers and encourages mothers to navigate life's transitions with faith, resilience, and intentionality. Fumilola holds a master's degree in English literature from the University of Lagos, Greater Akoko. Our professional background spans banking, customer service, social media management, content strategy, and digital marketing, enabling her to combine creativity with strategy in helping individuals and brands communicate their stories effectively. Thanks, Dorcas, for the emojis. I expect everyone to actually appreciate some of the things I'm saying. Um, Beyond writing and supporting women through different seasons of life, she is the creator of Waterspring Bookstore, where she promotes life transforming books that inspire growth, purpose, and lifelong learning. She is also the author of Pray, Play, and Practice, the ultimate Easter holiday guide, a 2 week Easter activity guide for children aged 1 to 10 years. Drawing from both lived experience and the power of storytelling, Fumilola challenges limiting belief, encourages self-discovery, and inspires people to embrace their unique identity and purpose. She believes that every season of life carries lessons that shape us into who we are created to become. Fumilola is married and a mother of three. I think I told the convener to, wow, she's a mother of three. So let's celebrate Fumilola Lakia, as she takes over the conversation for today. And I'll be sharing some of our platforms, our Instagram handles in the chats before the end of the session. Hi, for me, good to have you on the call today.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much. I'm honored to be on this platform. Thank you. Okay, so I should take it up. Okay,
Yes,
I want
please.
to.
Yes, please.
Will I be sharing my screen or it will be shared from your hand?
No, you can go ahead and share your screen. So you have full control of the movements. Yeah.
Okay, so just a moment while I share my screen. Okay, and while I'm trying to share my screen, I want to say thank you so much. Thank you to Mr. Shion. Thank you to Ebonlua for inviting me. Okay, please confirm you can't. Okay. Please confirm you can see me and I can see my screen.
Yes, very
Yes.
clear.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
the
yeah,
slide
phone is
is,
up
of
now.
And see my
course,
screen. Okay, thank you so much. So, before I go ahead, I think I want to say, I want to acknowledge the presence of my friend here, all the way from diaspora, Kayode Odumbuni. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, and then thank you
Thank you
everyone.
for me.
Yeah, thank you again for giving me this platform to share my story, basically, because I think that's what I'm going to be doing. And then, yeah, thank you so much for this. I appreciate. Okay, so before I start, I would say that for me, I find it very easy when you want to talk about motherhood. I find it very easy to talk about it because it is something I have lived, and so that is more like my comfort zone, so to say. And so when Mr. Ebo reached out to me, I was like, okay, we want you to be a guest on our MindShift series. And I was like, oh, this is what I would want to share. However, I know this will be limiting because the audience is not just for women. Men are also included, and so we decided on the topic of identity, and I'm so grateful again, once again, for the opportunity to be here to speak about this. Thank you so much. Okay, so we are going to dive right into it, and then yes, I'm going to start by saying that yes, I did some research. In fact, I prayed, I thought about so many things, and then I came up with my slides. But I realized that the very best way I can actually do justice to this topic is to talk about myself. Yes, and so I'm going to start by sharing my story. So my name is Fumilola, and okay, a backstory to that name. My first name used to be Oluwaseun. Like that is the name. Everybody calls me at home Oluwaseun, Oluwaseun. But somehow, I have this belief that that O in Oluwaseun means obstinate, and then somehow I think it means I'm stubborn. Yeah, I think I used to be very stubborn. Maybe still stubborn somehow. And then so I decided that okay, by the time I get into secondary school, I'm going to change my name from Oluwaseun to Fumilola. And so when I resumed school, when anybody asks me my name, what's your name? I say Fumilola. When I'm writing my name on my books, it's Fumilola, Fumilola. And then I ensure that that name was what everybody calls me by. And yes, that is what we have today. So back to the story of myself. I am from a family of 7, father, mother, and 5 children. And 5 children, we are all girls, we are 5 girls. And I'm the second of 5 girls. I have an elder sister and 3 younger sisters. But in my growing up days, the very first thing that I realized or that I got to know is that I am always being compared with my sisters. The comparison is always there, like your sisters, they are more beautiful than you are. And when it comes to maybe we are doing drama in church, they act more than you do, that they have skills more than you do. And somehow, I allowed those words to settle into me. I allowed those words to settle into me such that it now transcends from just physical beauty to even things that I can do. As a family of 5, like I mentioned, we are 5 girls, and then we sing too. We sing different parts. We harmonize with different parts. And sometimes we are invited to churches to come and sing, and then we call ourselves the Alaki Sisters. But even back then, when I knew that I have a good, well, let me say, I have a beautiful voice, I still do not appreciate it. I still feel that it is below. I still feel that my siblings' skills are more than mine. I still feel that everything about me is simplified. I think it grew worse when I became a teenager, and on this, I was on the slim side, and then I get compared every time. You are slim, you should have more flesh, and this continued to even my university days. And then eventually I gave birth. I got married, I gave birth, and then of course, for most women, when you give birth, you are going to add to an extent, and I did. And then the narrative now changed from you are slim to you are too big, you are too fat, watch what you are eating, watch yourself. In fact, I remember a particular lady then when I was slim, that was her song. You are slim, you don't have the right proportion of fat in the right places. And then when I started adding the flesh now, she's still the same person that says, no, you are going too fat. You need to watch what you are eating. I need to ensure that you keep fit, and so on and so forth. And also I remember that during my growing up days too, one of my aunties would say, like I said, she would always compare me like, yeah, in fact, our word is you are the ugliest of them all. That was our word. And yes, like I said, I allowed those words to also settle into me. And then from there, even while I was in the university, I got engaged with a guy. And from the very beginning too, I knew that this was not it. But because I already had a perception about myself, somehow I felt the guy was doing me good to like me. And so I stayed put until I eventually decided to exit that relationship. And also I remember too another one. I remember when I was still younger too, I was very sick that day. I was in the hospital, I was on the bed, and then a nurse was there, another woman was there too. And I realized that woman was, at some point, she was stealing glances at me. And then at a point, she couldn't keep it to herself anymore. And then she told the nurse that, wow, this girl is so beautiful. And the nurse said, beautiful. Okay, you need to see our other siblings. In fact, this one is not beautiful. You need to see our other siblings. They are so beautiful and the likes. Now, I'm sharing this story because somehow, your own story might not be, you are not beautiful. Your own story might not be, like I have just explained, mine was, you are not beautiful, and that transcended to every part of me, or I allowed it to. Your own might not be, you are beautiful. Your own can be unique because we have different stories, but we have a common ground, like more like we've allowed people, what people perceive, or what people see us to be. We've allowed it to inform how we live our lives. We've allowed it to inform who we call ourselves to be. And by God's grace, I hope that at the end of this class, we would be able to do justice to it and see how to move from that narrative to actually living our authentic life, having discovered who we really are, our self-worth and purpose. And so with that, I'll dive right into it. Our topic is the identity shift, how to discover your self-worth, purpose, and live an authentic life. And the issue of identity, it's a very big one, it's a large one. In fact, I think it will keep evolving. And it's a discussion that would probably never end until Jesus comes. And so our outline, what is identity, what is self-worth, what is purpose, even an authentic life, and then we run into conclusion. I know I was told that I have 30 minutes. Sorry, I have 40 minutes. So please keep me in check if I am speaking too much. Can you keep me in check so that I will not use more than the time allotted to me? Thank you so much. So we are diving into it right now. Just a minute, please. Okay, so thank you. So what is identity? We started what is identity. Now, in simple, in plain term, identity is who you are. It is not what you do. It is who you perceive yourself to be. Now, many times when we are asked to, I want to share another story really, and it's funny because it happened my friend that is on the call. It happened, it was something that happened when it was around, and then we had an outing. Okay, so let me quickly share the story. And so my friend Kayode was in the country, and then we had an outing, and then we went to our alma mater, that's University of Lagos. The program was going on there, and then when we got there, a friend of his, a white man, was also around. And so the white man, and so he introduced me to his friend, and then he said, this is Fumilola, my friend. And of course, the white man was excited to meet me. And then he said, oh, Fumilola, how are you? What do you do? And I went blank because he asked that question, and I'm like, wow, what do I do? Even though I do so many things, but the question he pointed at me kind of questions who I have perceived myself to be. And so for a moment, I blacked out. I did not respond. And thankfully, it was Heidi that came to my rescue and mentioned, oh, Fumlala used to work in the banking industry before she transitioned and the likes. And so many times our identity is not, or our identity is really not rooted in what people have said. It is not rooted in who, it is not rooted in what we do. You are a professional, you are a customer service professional, you are a lecturer, you do this, you do that. Your identity is not rooted in your job. It is not rooted in who people perceive you to be. In fact, it is not rooted in the experiences you have had. Yes, you've had experiences in the past that would, or that has shaped you. However, that is not what defines who you are. And so for me, identity shift, I define identity shift now as the journey from self-sabotage to self-awareness, leading to self-acceptance and a healthy self-esteem anchored in a renewed self-image. And please give me a moment to explain all of this. Now, I want you to realize that unearthing your real identity is not a one-time job. It is something that evolves, and so it is a journey. It is a journey that continues from one season of your life to the other. At a season of my life, I was a teenager. At a season of my life, I was a spinster. As a season of my life, I was a pregnant woman. As a season of my life, I was a new mom. So your identity evolves. Yes, your identity, and it is a journey. I just want us to put that at the back of our mind. It is a journey. And then if we intentionally walk this journey, it's going to help us to move from self-sabotage. And what does self-sabotage mean? It means you as a person, you are sabotaging yourself, more like you are deliberately not making yourself who you are supposed to be. How do I put that now? It's not like you are deliberately destroying or damaging your image as a person. Yes, I think that explains it. And I'm going to give you examples. Examples are in number one, people pleasing, because people have said this, and so this is what defines me. And so I want to do this so that I can be liked and loved by this person or by people. Or you have fear of failure and self-doubt. Yes, because people have said this, and then I'm doubting my abilities, even though I am good at this. But no, because somebody has said I am not good at it, I'm not fine, then yes, I'm not good. And then procrastination too. You are supposed to do this, but you keep procrastinating. Tomorrow I'll do it. Next tomorrow I'll do it. Or negative self-talk. When you tell yourself, I am not good enough, nothing works for me, nothing works in my favor. Why is it that I'm the only one? I am not liked, I am not loved. All of these things are self-sabotaging. And for your identity shift, it means we want to move from this level of self-sabotaging yourself to the level of what self-awareness, getting to know yourself, who you are. And who you are is rooted in who God has called you to be as a person. In the book of Jeremiah, is it Jeremiah 4, that God said that, Jeremiah, before you were formed in the womb, I have knew you. Like, even before your parents came together, I know who you are going to be. And that is what should be. And that is what our identity should be rooted in, who God has called us to be. He has called us his royal diadem. He has called us. In fact, in the Bible, I think in the book of Isaiah, it says that he will give other people's life for our life. Now, that illustration shows that God will go to any extent to preserve you because you are loved by him. And I think I quickly want to say that one of the reasons why God has created us, maybe we'll talk more about that when we get to purpose, is that number one reason is God has created us to love upon us. If you have not heard that before, please put that in mind. God creates you to love up on you. God loves you endlessly. Your flaws, your weakness, and the likes does not define who you are. It doesn't define who you are. And so moving from self-sabotage to self-awareness. Self-awareness now is getting to know that, yes, my identity is rooted in who God says I am and not what people say. It is rooted in what God has called me. It is rooted in the love of God. That's self-awareness. And then we now take it a bit further to now knowing that you as a person, I'm an introvert or I'm an extrovert. And so this is who I am. I enjoy it. I am an introvert. I do not long to be an extrovert. I'm an introvert, so I want to stay back and then enjoy the company of myself, do what I can do on my own, and not just long for this other person that is I want to be an extrovert. So self-awareness is coming to that realization of this is who you are, this is who you are wired to be. Okay, self-awareness, and then leading to self-acceptance. And eventually you accept yourself. This is how God has created me. He has created me in his image. And so either I am short or I am tall, I'm fair or I am dark, either I am an introvert or an extrovert, whatever it is, either I have the gift of singing or not, either I have the gift of writing or not, this is who God has called me to be. Now, you eventually accept yourself. And then what does this do? It helps you, it boosts your self-esteem. And then once you are able to do all of this, you have eventually created a renewed self-image for yourself. Okay. And I think I mentioned from the beginning too that your identity is not defined by what you have. It's not defined by your past mistakes. Yes, it could shape you, but that does not determine your past mistake. Neither does your qualification or your net worth. No, that's not what defines your identity. Number one, your identity is defined by who God says you are. It's rooted in the love of God. Because why? A life of a man does not consist of the abundance of the things that he has. Okay, so moving on. Okay, so look at this image that I have here. Things to note about your identity. Look at this image that you have here. I would want to say, okay, because of time, I would have said maybe someone should unmute. Okay, please, can we have someone unmute and just review this image for us? Because I want the class to be as interactive as possible so that I'm not the only one speaking. So I know that you can hear me. There's an image here. So can we check out this image? Can somebody just give us a view of this image? Like, what do you see? How do you understand this image? Anybody willing to do that? Or do you want me to call names?
I can go if there's no one.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Karen. Thank
you.
Okay,
I'll be very quick.
Okay.
So, I mean, what I'm taking away from this image is there is this little boy whose appearance is significantly different from what the mirror is showing. So what I'm taking from that is, even though your current, and I'm guessing, just reading the other bullet points on your slide, that this mirror image is reflecting how God sees this boy. And even though his current reality does not match what is in the mirror, it still doesn't take away the fact that there is a certain way in which God sees this boy. And regardless of where he is at right now, that image of God that God has of him is still very much present.
Thank you so much, Kayode. Thank you. I appreciate that. And yes, Kayode is right. Is any other person willing to go? Do you have something else to say?
Hi, for me. Maybe I could add to that as well.
Oh, yeah, my Adebisi, that's my friend. That's my bestie on the call. Thank you, Adebisi.
All right. Yes. So, I mean, just to add to what Kayode said, I think there's also like an understanding that the boy has, right? Because this is a young boy standing in front of a mirror, and what he can see is not his current realities, which is being dressed in rags. But he can actually, I mean, he believes it for himself, and that is why he can see that reflection in the mirror, because I believe he's seeing what is in the mirror, right? So it's not just about, you know, who God says he is, but he believes that my current, this is not where it ends, you know. One day I'm going to be dressed all nice like this. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Adebisi. God bless you. Thank you. Yes, Kayode is right. Adebisi is right. Thank you so much for your contribution. And that is why we must align ourselves with what God says or who God has called us to be. And like we can see, this boy, look at his environment. Now, what we can see that it's a rural environment. And then we can see that his clothes is tattered. In fact, he's not fully covered. His clothes is tattered, he's wearing slippers, he's carrying, I'm very sure that bag is an old bag, like it's a worn bag, and then he's carrying another package on the other side. And then now, what we are seeing on the outside is different from what the boy is seeing in the mirror. In fact, I'm sure that laptop the guy is carrying in the mirror is his Apple laptop, and so he's seeing already a bright future. He's seeing beyond where he is. He's seeing beyond his environment. He's seeing beyond what is happening to him. He's saying that now I do not have clothes. I am not fully clothed now, but I know that myself, the way I am, the way God has called me to be is that I am wearing a well-tailored suit, and I'm carrying my laptop. And so we should align our vision with what God, or with who God has called us to be. And so these are the things I want us to note about our identity. I want us to know that our identity in Christ should guide and inform all that we do. Now, there is a song that says, help me to see you, help me to see me the way you see me, because the way God sees us is actually different from the way we see ourselves, and that is the truth. And sometimes as humans, we want to say that we are humble, and so we see our circumstances, we see our flaws, and then we are like, oh God, this is it, this is just who I am. But God is seeing us beyond that. And I think that was reflected too in the book of Judges 6 verse 11, where the angel appeared to Gideon and called him a mighty man in valor. And you can, okay, let's read that part so that I'm not quoting out of scripture. So I'm going to read from my end to save time, I know. Judges chapter 6 verse 11. 6 verse 11 says, now the angel of the Lord came and sat under the terebinth tree, which was in Ophrah, which belonged to Josiah the Abzerite, while his son Gideon threshed wheat in the winepress in order to hide it from the Midianites. And the angel of the Lord appeared to him and said to him, the Lord is with you, mighty man of valor. Now, what was he doing? At that point, he was doing so. He was hiding from the Midianites. What he was doing, he was hiding. He was ensuring that these people are not taking what we are going to eat away from us. But then God sent his angel to him. And what did the angel call him? He said, "Thou mighty man of valor, God is with you." And I want you to always take this with you, that God is always with you. As an individual, God is always with you, and then he sees you, he sees what he has created you to be in the long run, he sees what he has called you to be. And the way God relates with you, he relates to you with you as the person he has called you to be, and not your current situation. And so that is why you should allow your perception of your image of who you are, you should allow it to align with what God has called you, or who God has called you to be. And then the other part, other people, circumstances, history, action, culture may have shaped you. I think I've said that earlier. May have shaped your belief about yourself, but you do not have the power to define the totality of who you are called to be by God. I shared my story from the beginning, and why did I live in that kind of life, or why did I allow that kind of life to continue? It was because I allowed it to shape me. It was because I believed so strongly in it. It was because I allowed those words to sink, and then I lived my life based on what people or who people have called me to be. I see myself that way, but no, that's not how God sees me, and that's not how God sees you. And so you should also know that your weakness are a platform for the strength of God to be displayed and revealed in your life. Yes, we have weaknesses, we have strength, but please note that your weakness does not mar you. Rather, it is a platform, if released to God, for God to want to display his strength in you. And then you are who God says you are ultimately. Okay, I think we're moving to the next slide now. Okay, so we are coming to self-worth. Number one, I said that your self-worth is sorry, I mentioned that your identity is who you are. Now we are coming to our self-worth. Our self-worth is what? Is the value that you place on yourself. Now I want us to quickly do an exercise. I want you to write the names of 3 people. If you can write it if you have a pen and paper with you, please quickly pen it down. Write the name of 3 people that you really love and you care about. Write their names. 3 people that you really love or you care about. You can put it in the chat. No, I even want to see it in the chat. Please drop it in the chat board, please. I'm waiting. 3 people that you love absolutely and that you care about. I'm waiting. I've not seen any response. I'm waiting for our responses. 3 people, myself, my mom, my dad, beautiful. Myself, my mom, my dad. There's only 1 person that I've seen the response. Me, myself. Oh, wow, beautiful. My mom, my dad, my siblings. Okay, Abimbola says my mom, my dad, my siblings. Adebisi says my husband, my children and parents. Okay, Doka says myself, my children, my husband. Okay. Oyinda says Olutayo, my husband, my kids, and my siblings, my dad, my siblings, my guy. Beautiful. Thank you so much for your responses. Yes, what I'm trying to derive from here, I think somewhere 2 or 3 people have already answered that question. Now, when we mention 3 people that you love and you care for and you adore, for me, I feel you should be the first person on that list. Your name should be the first person on that list. So the person that said myself and I, yes, you are right. You should always be the first person. You should be the first person on that list. And it's not coming from a place of selfishness, no. It's not coming from a place of selfishness. In fact, the Bible says that love your neighbor as yourself. So you have to love yourself first before you love your neighbor. So yeah, so that is it. So your self-worth is basically the value that you place on yourself. And so your self-worth is also understanding your value beyond performance and pressure. And like I mentioned, who you are is not determined by what you do. It's not determined by the money you have in your account. It's not determined if you are liked or not. It is determined by who God sees you are, and then the value you place on yourself. Understanding that value and knowing that you are a complete person. You are a complete entity, and you are valued. You are loved as a person, and is not determined by your performance or by pressure from here and there. So self-worth is knowing your value without constantly proving it. You know your value, you know that you're a valuable person, and so you are not trying to prove yourself, or you are trying to prove a point. Okay, and then your self-worth is not determined by what you do or what you have. Your worth should, because your self-worth is placing the value of you on who you are. And so who you are should be constant in every season. It should be constant. It does not or should not increase with success. Not that because I have a raise at work or I'm moving into a bigger organization, a bigger role, then my worth is increasing as a person. The value you have on yourself as a person is already full, like it's already on the increase. So having a good job, yes, they are good. Having a raise and the likes are additions. They are not what would increase it. Okay. And so your self-worth, what does it do? It informs how you see yourself. I think I've said a lot about it. It informs how you see yourself. It informs how you feel about yourself. Some of us, we don't feel good about ourselves. Anything could have been the reason for that, our experiences and likes. We don't feel good about ourselves. It is not right. It is not proper. Some of us, the way we think about ourselves in a negative, or we are trying to say that, okay, I want to think of the worst case scenario so that if it happens, then I am guided. I am ready for it. No, you should always think good about yourself. You should always expect good about yourself. And then you are able to do this. What does it do? It helps promote self-love. You love yourself. We mentioned this earlier. You love yourself. You appreciate yourself. You can just look in the mirror and you're like, wow, this is a beautiful creature created by God. And don't forget, the Bible says that when God wants to create man, he says, let us create man in our image. So you are created as a Christian, you are created as a child of God, you are created as a child of God, you are created in the image of God. And I think the greatest part of it is that God lives in you. And so that itself should take your self-worth to the highest level, such that nothing, if good happens, it is not affecting it. If bad happens, it is not affecting it. It is constant. And then knowing your self-worth influences how you carry yourself. There are some of us, maybe because of how we have been told or how we have been trained, when you're talking to people, you don't look them in the eyes. No, you should look people in the eyes. Think about yourself, as I've talked about that. Treat yourself to good food, treat yourself to good sleep, treat yourself to buy gifts for yourself. buy gifts for yourself. Is a way of appreciating yourself. Get something that you really like. Buy gifts for yourself. Then setting healthy boundaries. When you place value on who you are, because you know where you are going. Because one, you know who God has called you to be, and then you know where you are going. You place what? You place value. You set healthy boundaries. When people are doing what you don't like, yes, you say it. You are kind about it. Yeah, many times we define or we describe someone as being nice. The person is nice, and then people are throwing trash at the person. But once you know your self-worth, you know that kindness is what is required of you. Sometimes you don't have to be nice, you just have to be kind. Okay, setting healthy boundaries and what enforcing it. Okay, and then what you read and listen to, they are very important. What do you read? What do you listen to? The age of social media does not make it easy, I know, but however, having an understanding of who you are and placing value on yourself would help you scrutinize what you listen to. It will help you scrutinize what you hear, what you read. Read good books, listen to good podcasts, okay? And all of this would what boost your self-esteem, and eventually it will promote self-care. Yes, I think I want to talk a bit about self-care. As individuals too, in this age and time, we should know that it is important that we eat well. That's self-care. Eat well. I think I mentioned food before. I like food. Eat well, drink water, exercise. They are all part of self-care. And one way or the other, all of these things are intertwined. Yes, they boost your self-esteem, and it is important what you expose yourself to, your ear gates, what is coming through your ear, what you are seeing. It is very, very important, because in the long run, what you see is what you become. Just like the boy looking into the mirror, if that image is what he is seeing, eventually that is what he's going to become. Okay, so let's move on to the next part. Okay, I think because of time, I'm not going to rush through, but I'll just mention the key points. So how do we heal from battered self-worth? Because of things that have happened to us in the past, because of our past experiences, our past mistakes, sometimes the way we view ourselves, we do not place so much value on ourselves. But now I believe that is changing. And then in walking that path of healing, what do we do? Number one, you have to forgive yourself. We have made mistakes in the past. Please forgive yourself. And please be reminded that you still make mistakes. Yes, you are still going to make a mistake. So just be ready to forgive yourself. Be ready to forgive others. People will offend you because you will also offend people. So be ready to forgive yourself.
You have 4 minutes to.
Oh, I have 4 minutes more. Okay, so be able to forgive yourself, accept yourself, be there for yourself. I think we've said all of this. Be there for yourself. And what's the last part? Connect with people. We talked about community. It is important. Connect with the right people that have the same value as you, people that have the same vision where you are going to. So we are going to wrap this up. Talk about purpose. So what is purpose? Purpose is how you find expression through what you do. And so we've talked about who you are. So who you are as a person, how it finds expression through what you do is your purpose. And for me, I think I'll really just share my story again, that when I had my first baby, it was a rocky. It was, in fact, I landed in motherhood on a rocky path. My baby fell sick because I couldn't breastfeed him well, and I was adamant that I want to exclusively breastfeed my baby. And then it landed us in the hospital for weeks. And then coming out of that, I realized that for me, going in as a first-time mom, I didn't have the website knowledge that I need to be able to do those things that I need to do. And so because of that experience, I decided to do what? I decided to start sharing my story. And that was how I started my motherhood blog. I decided to start sharing my story because I know that there are people out there that have the same, or that may want to fall into that same trap. So, but by sharing my story, I'm able to do what? I'm able to help them and bring them out of that, and help them to avoid that pitfall. And it's the same with the MindShift series. It is a vision from somebody, and they are bringing young minds together to ensure that we are building ourselves, we are changing our mind to become the awesome person that God has created us to be. So basically, your purpose is how who you are, since you have an understanding of it, how who you are finds expression in in what you do. So just things you need to know about your purpose. God is the source of your purpose. And then the last one, purpose is covered by revelation. I don't have time to dive into that, but your purpose is discovered by revelation, not speculation. And many times you find your purpose in your experiences. And so living an authentic life, how do you live an authentic life? You live an authentic life by having an understanding of who you are. And how do you do that? I mentioned it, but one of the other ways I have to do that too is to spend time with the word of God, get to know yourself too. There are tests that you can take online to really know what you can do and the likes. All of those things are intertwined. And then define what success means to you. For some people, success means living their life the way they want. For some people, success means having 10, 12 private jets. And so if you feel that the person that wants to have 10, 12 private jets, if that is the life that you want, you are going to live under pressure. But for you as a person, define what success means to you and go all out to it, because success is predictable. If you put in the work, you will get the result. And then live daily to make an impact. Ensure that your everyday living, you are making impact. Giving a smile to someone, and complimenting someone, giving a good word to someone, like referring someone, is making impact. Its impact does not mean that it has to be very grand. The little things you do in your everyday life is what you are making impact. And then choose joy every day. I like using the phrase, don't keep your happiness waiting. Whatever makes you happy, don't say that tomorrow I will do it. Just live your best life every day. And this is the conclusion. Identity shift is the daily journey of renewing your mind. I think I mentioned this from the very beginning, that this is a journey. It is not a one-time thing. You are daily renewing your mind, just like the Bible says that we should renew our mind daily. And then is the daily journey of renewing your mind, embracing your true identity. As you become more self-aware, you begin to unravel your true identity. And what this does is that it strengthens your self-worth by helping you to realign your purpose and live authentically without apology. And so for me, for all of my experience and how I've lived my life so far, I have a personal statement. And I will say that for me, I am the woman who is recklessly loved by God, marvelously helped by Him, and eternally preserved for His glory. And I think I'm going to end by saying that please have a personal statement. Have a personal statement, and it comes from the place of understanding. Thank you so much for giving me the time to share my knowledge. God bless you. It has been a pleasure doing this. Thank you so much.
Wow, thank you so much, Mrs. Fumilola. Please, let's have those reactions coming in. If you know that you have gained one or two things from this session. Personally, I have gained a lot from this session, and I believe we have all gained a lot from this session. So overall, my takeaway from our session is God loves you irrespective of your nature. So you need to see yourself that irrespective of your current level, God sees you beyond where you are, because He formed you and He has a better plan for you. Another thing, you need to place value on yourself, just like she has mentioned. God created you with a value, and that value, you have to appreciate it and place it on yourself wherever you find yourself. Another thing is, be authentic anywhere you find yourself. Imagine putting a false skills on your CV and you end up getting a job, and time comes for you to come and claim. Come and practicalize, come and tell us that actually and truly you qualify for this job. So anything you do, be authentic. There are so many languages and slangs out there, fake it when you make it. No, as a Christian or as a professional, you don't have to fake anything. Be authentic, because there is a gain and there is a reward from you being yourself. Once again, I want to appreciate you, Mrs. Fumilola, and I believe we have all gained one or two experience from your session. I know, and I see you are trying to manage the time. The time is not enough for you, but still, we appreciate the fact that you are able to manage the time. Thank you, God. So we are opening the floor for questions. If you have questions for our speaker, please, the floor is open. You can unmute yourself. Let's have as many questions that you want to ask her. If there's anything that you are not clear about, or if there's anything you want to later expatiate for you, please, you can unmute yourself to ask a question. We have this session for 5 minutes, please. This is past 7 already. We have exceeded the time. So 5 minutes. If you have questions, please unmute yourself and ask your questions. Mrs. Fumilola is here to respond to you.
Good evening,
Questions, please.
everyone.
Good
So my
evening.
question, thank you before I continue. Thank you very much, Ma, for this wonderful session. God bless you, Ma. And thank you, MindShift, for this opportunity to share insight. I really appreciate it. So my question is that in a case when you've once been low, once been depressed, and there has been one particular person who has been showing up for you, then all of a sudden the person stopped showing up. And prior to that, you started healing. And then that one person that do show up for you stop showing up, you don't talk as much as before anymore, and it feels as if there is distance. In that particular case, what will you do? And where you are healing, you no longer need to talk to anybody like that again, but you just feel that gap, that distance. Is that person a bad friend?
Okay, thank you. If I get your question well, there are two people involved here. One person always showing up for you. Am I correct?
Yes, ma.
And then you as a person, you get depressed, and then the person draws back. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay, and now there is little or no communication between the two of you, even though you have been best of friends before. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay. It happens, and that's the truth. Life happens. And then one of the things I know or that I have realized is that relationships are important. Relationships are very, very important. And then the extent at which that relationship means to you is the extent at which you will go all out to make sure you restore that relationship. So the person was showing up for you. Somebody showing up for you loves you. That's just it. The person loves you, and that is why the person will show up for you. But you going through a season in your life where you decide to shut people out, and now you are healing, and then you know that you need this person. Now that you are healing and you know that you need this person, it's a realization for you that this relationship is very important. And so you want to go all out to connect to that person. You will do your part. Eventually, if the person feels that, okay, this friendship, this relationship has served its purpose for him or her, then you may have to move on. But if the person is open to reigniting the relationship, then why not? Relationships are important, and there are, even though we say that nobody is indispensable, there are still relationships that they are indispensable, because there are relationships that you cannot do without, because somehow they um they have a way in our future, or they have something to do with our future. So it still depends on you being the person. Now you are healing, and then you realize that this person that I shot out is someone I need. So go to that person, be vulnerable with that person. This is what happened, and if you are not even ready to share that thing that happened at that time, you can still extend your hand of friendship. Be deliberate, be intentional. You can get the person gift, you can send messages, put a call through. Yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Yes, ma'am. But ma, can I connect with you further?
Yes, please. Okay. Do I drop my WhatsApp number? Okay, I think I'll just drop my WhatsApp number here. So you can.
Okay, thank you, ma.
Also, thank you.
So now,
I think to wrap up this session, but I can see Joshua. I can see your hands up. Please go ahead and unmute.
talking, I'm the one talking.
She's the one talking.
Okay, you are the one talking. Oh, okay. Do we still have more questions? Let's take one more question before we round up this session.
I think Hassan Temitope is raising his hand.
Hassan, okay,
Yes,
okay, unmute.
yes, raising his hand.
Okay, Hassan Temitope, please. Over to
Sorry,
you.
let me just why that's not information. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I hope you can hear me.
No. Yes, I can hear you, Mr. Azan.
All right. I want to ask you a question that is very important to me. Thinking about it. Talk about discovery. So in a case whereby you need people to actually you actually discover yourself and discover your goal, what you need to do. And in the case whereby you now need people to actually you need people to serve as a guide to achieving that particular thing you're talking about yourself. But it seems like everybody is busy for their own self, and they don't really. The more you talk to some people about it, the more they feel like it's less important. And what will someone do? Because it will feel like it's like you are left alone, and you actually need people to actually buy the decision so to achieve what you want to achieve. What can one do about that nobody is available? Because that people are not really, they don't really care about what you want to say. So that's the question.
Okay, so if I understand your question, okay, so if I understand your question correctly, you realized who you are, more like you know where you are going, and then you know that you need a community of like-minded people to work with you. But the people you are reaching out to don't see it as they don't see what you are saying as being important.
Yes.
Okay. And that means you are not connecting with like-minded people, because if they are like-minded people, you have the same value. And what is connecting you with them is that what you are doing aligns with what they are doing. And so if that is what you are experiencing, you may need to move back, step back, and then do a survey and check those that are around that are really, or those that have the same value as you are, or those that are going the same place you are going, and then connect with them. Because if you are trying to connect with these people and they are not trying to connect with you, then that means there is no alignment. I hope that answers your question.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Mrs. Fumilola. Thank you for people that have asked questions. Thank you for responding to their questions. I think we have already exceeded our time by 10 minutes. But before we call it a day, I would like to call on the co-convener, Mr. Ebu, to wrap up this session for us. Over to you, Mr. Ebu.
All right, thank you so much. Please confirm you can hear me.
Loud and clear. I can hear you loud and clear.
All right. Please let's give Madam Fomi emojis reactions and just celebrate. Thank you so much for joining us today. Yeah, I know you're used to the women environment and community, but we brought it to the youth, both men and women today. And thanks so much. You really did justice to this topic. Without going further into what has already been discussed, please we encourage us to please visit the MindShift YouTube channel. There are a lot of conversations that we've had in previous editions. This initiative has been on more than 1 year now, and we've been having conversations around different subject areas. So we encourage everyone to please feel free to visit the channel. It's on the charts, and enjoy all the insights, the knowledge areas that have been shared so far. Our previous speakers, I can see some of them also on the call. I can see Madam Inyade, who also handled one of the very key aspects on growth mindset with us. So please, we encourage you to visit the YouTube channel and enjoy all the learnings here. We have a community, a WhatsApp community. I think I heard Azan also looking for a way through which you're able to connect with like minds, people that can support you in your goals. So we have a community where you can also enjoy all of this. So we encourage you to please visit, join the WhatsApp community. We'll keep supporting, we'll keep sharing insights and resources that can help us. Once again, we thank you so much. This program comes out fourth Sundays of every month. So look out for the next knowledge area that I'll be discussing. I think I have an insight already. It's going to be on relationship. So please look out for that. We'll be having another very inspiring speaker that will be engaging with us in that session. Once again, thank you so much. It's been a privilege having everyone on this call, to all the friends that joined Fumilola to this program. I have a colleague also from Ghana, Jessica. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and I wish you all the best of the week ahead, and also the best of the second half of the year as we move into the second half. Thank you, everyone. I don't know if Pastor Sheon has one thing or the other to share also. Let's just turn on your camera. If you're in a good environment to turn your camera, please put it on. Let's see our faces. Let's see where you're joining from. Let me take out Fumilola from the full screen for now.
Okay, so
Yes.
I really don't have much to say. You said all that needs to be said, and just to once again appreciate Fumilola. She's done a great job. In fact, putting the flies together. I know it took a whole lot of effort from her, but thank you so much. That is something we really appreciate. And then to appreciate some people that I'm seeing on this call, Onome, all the way from UK. We do not take your presence for granted. Thank you, Pastor Sam Atoyebi. Thank you so much for being here. Shadi, I don't know if she's still around. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And Orange Springs, that's Gideon, Mukandas, Dorcas, Michael, Abodunri, Temitope, Angela, uh, and BC, Oyindamola, Alfred, everyone who has made it worthwhile today. You are most loved. Thank you so much. And hopefully we see you next month. This time next month in July, last Sunday in July. Again, we'll meet again and hopefully you'll be there. God bless you.
All right, thank you everyone. Bye
Thank
bye.
you
Feel
so
free to call
much. That was a
anytime.
good
Bye.
Thank you, Kaldi. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kaya.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, Gideon. Thank you, Onome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Hello.
Thank you.